Deadly shooting leaves a woman dead in far East El Paso. What we know about the incident so far and about the victim. Then the battle over layoffs as the government shutdown surpasses 2 weeks. We look at what's at stake and the ruling from a judge to prevent more federal workers from losing their jobs. And it looks like we're staying dry, at least for now. Right, Tirza?
That's right, Paulina. We are drying out for now and looking at more fall-like temperatures over the forecasting period. Coming up, I'll have more on your weekend outlook and what to expect for next week, including shower chances. KTSM 9 Plus starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon and thank you for choosing KTSM 9 Plus, our digital newscast. I'm Paulina Spencer in for Monica Cortez today. We are learning the name of the 49-year-old woman killed in a shooting in far East El Paso Wednesday. We first told you about the story yesterday morning. El Paso police say it happened on Tierra Rica Drive. The report states the victim, Rachel Creed, was seen outside of a 20-year-old's home near the outdoor trash bins. Police say he was taking the trash out when an argument broke out between the two. At some point, Creed was shot. Creed was taken to a hospital where she later died. Police have not said if charges are being filed against the 23-year-old right now, but anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers of El Paso at 566-TIPS. And as we first told you on KTSM 9 News today, one person is dead after a motorcycle crash early this morning in northeast El Paso. El Paso police say it happened at about 3:30 a.m. at Martin Luther King and Loma del Sur Drive. The crash was between a motorcycle and a car, but police have not said who died or what led to the wreck. As of this afternoon, EPPD's Special Traffic Investigations Unit is looking into this incident. And first at 4, 6 people are claiming they were used against their will to train a special team of corrections officers at the Doña Ana County Detention Center. The group has filed a lawsuit seeking to end what they call are the jail's violent practices. The lawsuit was filed in the 3rd Judicial District Court against the Doña Ana County Board County Commissioners. They oversee the jail. The lawsuit claims officers routinely terrorize people detained and use them as live training subjects for new cadets. It also points to video evidence showing officers storming pods with military-grade weapons and using flashbangs during haircuts and while people were sleeping. The lawsuit alleges these officers have conducted at least 112 such operations since January 2023. It also states the detention center's special operations and response team's actions violate the New Mexico Constitution's ban on cruel and unusual punishments. Meanwhile, El Paso County is looking to adopt a countywide fire code and business order. The idea is spearheaded by County Commissioner Jackie Butler. The order coming off the heels of 14 outdoor fires since 2019, specifically the September 2023 recycling plant fire in Montana Vista, highlighting gaps in prevention, enforcement, and coordination. The fire code would set clear standards of operation throughout the county, strengthening safety standards that would expand past city limits. The outdoor business order would require certain outdoor businesses in the county to obtain a license to operate and set requirements for disposal of flammable liquids, fencing, and materials on the property. El Paso County Commissioners Court will hold a public hearing on Monday to receive public comment before making a final decision. And Randy Morgan will have a detailed interview with County Commissioner Jackie Butler that's coming up at 6:30. And taking a break from our headlines, and for me to catch my breath, this is a live look outside using our tower camera. It is 4:04. It's looking nice and beautiful out there. Just one cloud. One little cloud, Tirza.
Yep, just one cloud out there, completely different from what we had this weekend, Paulina.
I like it.
I'll go ahead and give you a break. I'll take over the weather for right now. Of course, anything for you. But we are talking about quiet weather conditions. Nothing really major to make a note of. If you're outdoors, you're feeling those very light winds moving, potentially even gusty at times. And if you're loving today, you're probably going to love the rest of the weekend because we are getting cooler and we're looking at very warm, seasonably warm temperatures as we continue to move through the rest of our October, and the only watches and warnings we have on the board is going to be a freeze warning over in northern New Mexico. Other than that, we are clear from that moisture. That tropical storm system that was entering our region and really lingered around for a while has moved its way out. We were very warm, very dry for today, and will continue to be that way as we continue to push through. Now, taking a look at your car wash forecast, we have green lights across the board. We're actually even dropping below average for Friday and for Saturday. We're looking at 79 degrees with light winds, 78 for your Saturday and 8 for Sunday, but we're not done with the rain chances just yet. In your full 9-day forecast, they will have more details of what to expect as we continue to move through our forecasting period. But for now, Paulina, I'll go ahead and send it back over to you.
Thank you, Teresa. And let's get our first look at traffic this afternoon. This is I-10, US 54 Alameda. There seems to be a lot of backup in that area, so just be aware of that if you're headed in that direction. It seems to just be the semis probably headed to Juarez. This is I-10 Rubin. Traffic is flowing relatively well on both directions. And as the days get shorter and it gets darker earlier, it becomes more of a challenge to see people walking on the streets when you're out driving. That's why TxDOT is bringing back its pedestrian safety campaign, Be Safe, Drive Smart, for National Pedestrian Safety Month. According to TxDOT, pedestrian traffic deaths increased 20% in Texas from 2020 through 2024, with more than 200 crashes involving pedestrians in El Paso roads last year alone. TxDOT is reminding drivers to share the road.
There's a reason there are more pedestrian crashes this time of year. Fewer daylight hours mean it can be harder to see people walking. While most of us look forward to fall for the milder weather, the shorter days bring extra risk for people out and about on foot. TxDOT is calling on Texans to do what they do best, look out for one another, so we can all stay safe.
TxDOT is also reminding trick-or-treaters to look both ways when crossing the street on Halloween night, and reminds drivers to look out for children who may be out celebrating. And your consumer alert, taking a look at AAA's weekly gas prices. Prices at the pump seem to be steadily dropping. According to AAA, the statewide average for a gallon of regular gas sits at $2.64. That's about 6 cents cheaper than this time last week. However, as we're used to by now, gas prices in the Sun City are much higher. We're paying $2.77 on average for a gallon of regular gas. But it's not all bad news. We're still paying about 10 cents less than we were last week. Turning to national news, amid the government shutdown, more federal employees are facing layoffs. In today's Political Minute, News Nation's Blake Berman breaks down the latest developments in the federal workforce.
Federal jobs cut as the government stays closed. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. The Trump administration following through on its promise to reduce the size of the federal workforce during the shutdown. The Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought authorizing firings across several agencies. Since the shutdown started, several thousand workers have been laid off. The Treasury Department alone seeing close to 1,400 jobs slashed. So far, it's a fraction of the federal civilian workforce, which had roughly 2.3 million employees as of March earlier this year. Vought signaling more layoffs could be on the way, predicting north of 10,000 layoffs if the government doesn't reopen. The actions, though, facing pushback in the courts. A federal judge temporarily blocking the Trump administration from firing workers in a decision on Wednesday. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
A more than $1 billion AI data center is slated to be built in El Paso. Coming up, what is planned, what kind of jobs it could bring, and what you are seeing in the comments. Then, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and we're giving you a sneak peek at this year's amazing floats. Today, you'll get an inside look at the iconic Suncourt float. Thanks for watching KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
9+ streaming app is finally here, and it is absolutely free. And downloading it is super simple. On your Roku remote, hit the home button. Head to the streaming store, search for KTSM 9+, and click download. Once installed, you'll have instant access to live newscasts, weather updates, and exclusive local
or score 60 months no interest and free shipping. The 30th anniversary sale on now at Denver Match.
Welcome back. In today's In the Comments segment, Meta, the parent company for Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has selected El Paso for a new AI data center. According to Borderplex Alliance, $1.5 billion is expected to be invested, creating more than 1,800 construction jobs at peak development. Once completed, it is expected to bring in 100 operational positions. Meta highlighted several key factors in its decision-making process, including the availability of a strong workforce, robust energy resources, and the region's business-friendly environment. Now, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts you wanted to share. We begin with Javier Diaz, who writes, "This is great news. Good-paying IT jobs, maintenance workers, all money that goes back to El Paso economy." Meanwhile, Tony Dimitri Chavez writes, "We've heard all this before. What happened to the amphitheater? Still waiting on that." And Jay Mitchum simply writes, "Where is all the power they will need coming from?" Officials say that this facility will feature a closed-loop cooling system that recycles water and restores 200% of what it uses back into local watersheds. And when it comes to power, Meta plans to run the campus using 100% renewable energy. Now, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you, so make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. We have more news headed your way after the break. This is KTSM 9+.
That's 800-425-1789. Call now.
Good afternoon, Borderland. We are looking at very calm conditions out the door. We had a beautiful morning and even better afternoon, a little bit on the warmer end, but we are looking at very dry air as we continue to move to the weekend. Right now, taking a look at our radar, really not a whole lot going on. We do have a freeze warning up in northern New Mexico. But as for the rest of the borderland, really the major headline we're looking at is those windy conditions, potentially even breezy on some ends, with those gusts beginning to pick up. We're looking at 24 miles per hour here in El Paso, 16 over in Las Cruces, 12 in Juarez, TRC at 31, with Silver City and Deming both in those lower 20s. And this really is going to be the theme as we continue to move through the rest of this forecast period. We're currently looking at very sunny skies, 84 degrees, and winds moving very light from the west at 15 miles per hour in El Paso. Over in Las Cruces, you're a little bit cooler, around 77 degrees, but more or less the same. Plenty of sunshine, so it could potentially even feel warmer, but light winds as well from the southwest at 13 miles per hour. Really just enjoyable temperatures, especially after all that rain we've been looking at for the past 5 days. For our lows tonight, we are dropping down to those lower 60s in El Paso and over in Juarez, 53 over in Las Cruces. Taking a look though at Ruidoso, 44 degrees with Cloudcroft even cooler at 39 degrees. So really getting into those very cool temperatures up there in New Mexico. For tomorrow, 79 degrees will be that high for El Paso. We're looking at very sunny skies, those light winds moving, but overall this is around average temperatures for this time of year. For Las Cruces, 77 degrees and very sunny, light winds moving at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It can get gusty at times, very similar to what we had for today. Our highs for tomorrow across the rest of the region, 80 over in Juarez, 75 for Guadalupe Pass, Van Horn at 82 degrees with Ruidoso at 66 degrees and Cloudcroft 10 degrees cooler at 56 for that high. Now with the drying out period, we are looking at our allergens jump up a little bit, 6 for your Friday and 7 for your weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But overall, not too terrible. Taking a look at the rest of our 9 hours, we really have clear skies across the board. Go ahead and check it out as you're planning out the rest of your evening. We'll be down to 80 degrees by the time we get to 6 p.m., 72 by the time we get to 10 p.m. And then looking at our 2 a.m. hour, we are down to 66 degrees, but overall it doesn't look like we'll have a cloud in the sky as we welcome our Friday. Now taking a look at Friday and really the whole weekend in general, very light and variable winds as we continue to get through the week. 79 degrees for your Friday is that high. We're looking to be around 78 for your Saturday, slightly warmer for Sunday. Really Monday will be that warmest day. We're above average at 84 degrees, so we'll be hitting those mid 80s before we cool down once again going into the rest of the week. Now we do have some slight shower chances for our Wednesday and Thursday, but right now they are very low, 79 degrees for your Thursday before we go below average again for next Friday and Saturday. But don't go anywhere. We have more news coming up. You're watching KTSM 9+.
KTSM 9 presents the Sun Bowl Parade behind the scenes.
We are continuing our series where we preview the Thanksgiving Day Parade and go behind the scenes to see all the work that is put into building the wonderful floats we see every year. Today we're looking at the iconic Sun Court float. Our KTSM 9 News anchor Monica Cortez and photojournalist Sofia Lopez have this story.
I'm a queen for this parade preview. I'm so excited. This is also one of my favorite floats. I don't know if you guys remember, but this is a float where you have the Sun Queen and all the Sun Princesses. And who doesn't want to be a queen and a princess? I feel like that's every little girl's dream. Welcome, Joe Daba.
Thank you for having me.
I love this float. So talk to us a little bit. What is this and what is it going to be this year?
Yes, thank you to Simon Properties with Sila Vista Mall, sponsors the Sun Court. And yes, this is the largest float in the parade, about 58, 50, 60 feet long. And it features, obviously, our Sun Queen for the year and our Sun Court.
Wow, I can't believe I sat at the throne.
I know, you are royalty now.
So, and it's crazy because I feel like every little girl dreams of being a princess or a queen. Tell us a little bit about how this ties into the theme.
Yes, like you said, every little girl wants to be a queen or a princess. And this just ties in with the long history of the Sun Bowl, Sun Court, which is over 90 years old.
Wow. And so are you guys going to do anything special with this float? What can we expect?
Yes, we'll have a giant crown on the back that'll be rotating and glittering and shining to emphasize the queen part.
Oh, wow. This is so incredible. And so you said this is the longest float, right? The largest float?
Yes, it's the largest single float in the parade.
Wow. Well, this is something that we're always looking forward to. I'm always looking at the princesses and the queens, how they're dressed. What would you like to tell the public about this float?
I tell you what, it's been one of the staple floats in the parade. We've been using this float for probably over 20 years. And it's just one of those things that every Sun Court coming up for every year is very excited to ride on this and have their moment to shine for El Paso.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much. And we can't wait to see this Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye.
Well, how exciting. Now make sure you're tuning in every Thursday to find out what floats the Sun Bowl Association is putting together. This is the second of 7 that we are featuring leading up to the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which will air on KTSM on Thursday, November 27th, starting at 10 a.m. Don't go anywhere. We have another half hour of news and weather coming up. Stay with KTSM 9+.
Nana Pau Pau. Amen.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus, our digital newscast. I'm Paulina Spencer. We begin with our Austin newsroom. Future welders, machinists, and HVAC technicians are learning their trade right here in Texas at the Texas State Technical College. But the school system says its output cannot keep up with the workforce demands in the state, not without stable funding. A constitutional amendment on the ballot this November could bring that financial stability. Dylan McKim explains what it could mean for you.
This is what we're going to be doing right here.
A year ago, Sebastian Morales was a senior in high school without a plan.
We have to connect 4 lights.
Until a friend told him about a program.
Hey, that sounds really interesting.
Now he's training to be an HVAC technician at the Texas State Technical College's Williamson County campus.
I'm really happy that I actually applied here because this is probably right for me.
Morales and his classmates are the state's future workforce. From machinists to welders. Companies like Tesla and SpaceX are calling Texas home and bringing with them a demand for workers, a demand the state is not meeting.
If we quadrupled our output, there would still be a skills gap in Texas.
Although students pay tuition, TSTC is not like a community college. It's a state agency with 11 campuses, which means it cannot call for bond elections or levy a tax on homeowners.
Without that, we're not able to plan and we're not able to answer the needs of employers in the communities.
Lawmakers want to create an investment fund that the school could pull earnings from to pay for capital projects, like buying new buildings, equipment, and renovating older campuses. Voters would have to approve that fund, but some have suggested it may not be a good solution. The Texas Policy Research says it could create a lack of fiscal responsibility.
The legislature put it on the ballot to create. The legislature can put it back on the ballot to do away with it if they want to.
Can you come check my wiring really quickly?
Sebastian is just 7 weeks into his program, but in less than 2 years, he'll have the green light to join the workforce fully certified with a lot of options.
There's just a lot of opportunity around here.
In Williamson County, I'm Dylan McKim.
Now, voters can have their voice heard on this issue on November 4th. Early voting starts next Monday. And back here at home, we are learning the name of the 49-year-old woman killed in a shooting in Far East El Paso on Wednesday. We first told you about the story yesterday morning. El Paso police say it happened on Tierra Rica Drive. The report states the victim, Rachel Creed, was seen outside of a 23-year-old's home near the outdoor trash bins. Police say he was taking the trash out when an argument broke out between the two, and at some point Creed was shot. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. Police have not said if charges are being filed against the 23-year-old. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers of El Paso at 566-TIPS. And as we first told you on KTSM 9 News today, one person is dead after a motorcycle crash early this morning in Northeast El Paso. El Paso police say it happened at about 3:30 a.m. on Martin Luther King and Loma del Sur Drive. The crash was between a motorcycle and a car, but police have not said who died or what led to the wreck. As of this afternoon, EPPD's Special Traffic Investigations Unit is looking into this incident. And in case you missed it, global tech giant Meta, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, is investing billions of dollars in El Paso. Meta is said to build a new AI data center just off of Highway 54 in Northeast El Paso. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar has more on this story.
You think of Meta's high-profile presence in a number of high-growth industries like healthcare and banking and e-commerce and film and multimedia. That makes the El Paso region now a player in all of those industries.
On top of the global branding opportunities that Meta brings with it, Boyd says it will drive economic boost in the region, enormous new tax revenue, new real estate development activity, including housing, hotels, retail, and commercial spaces, and continue to attract more big tech companies.
This is an FDI recruiting tool for tech companies to locate in the El Paso region.
Meta's announcement coming on the heels of approved developments of a large data center in Santa Teresa and a tech manufacturing center in Socorro, both of them backed by over $100 billion investments.
The early year impacts may not be as astounding as a lot of people anticipate, but they are welcome additions in terms of, the evolution of this region. And see, they represent, part of the wave of the future.
Now, there are environmental concerns with these data centers, most notably how much water and energy they use. But El Paso utility officials on Wednesday, noting the facility will use a cooling system and adopt efficiency efforts that will restore double the amount of water it uses back into the local watershed and run on 100% renewable energy.
It will be a closed loop cooling system that is very water efficient in nature. As we mentioned during the remarks, we have a goal of water stewardship and being water positive in 2030. It means we're going to restore more water than we actually consume in our operations.
That was Jesus Baltazar reporting. The project comes with a price tag of more than $1.5 billion. El Paso Electric says Meta is paying its full cost of service and covering the grid connections and infrastructure needed to support the facility, which means customers shouldn't see a higher bill because of the project. Well, turning our attention to the weather, let's take a live look outside using our tower camera. It looks beautiful out there. Earlier there was one cloud, but that cloud is gone by now. And if you step outside right now, you're gonna notice it's very, very warm. Tirza, I got really excited because earlier in the week we were feeling the chilly vibes.
Yeah.
Potentially we're close to sweater weather, but it was all a trick.
It was quite deceitful. It doesn't look like we'll be hitting sweater weather anytime soon. I mean, unless you want to just deal with the uncomfortable warm conditions, that is totally up to you. But we were looking at very warm conditions out the door for today. We are above average right now, currently sitting at 84 degrees, plenty of sunshine though. But like you mentioned, Paulina, we are looking at very nice weather. It's really quiet. Those light breezes are hopefully keeping you cool. And we're going to follow that trend all the way through the weekend. We are drying out, noticing more fall-like conditions. We are looking at light winds for the most part, potentially breezy at some times during the weekend. But then we do have the chance to be looking at some late week showers later on in the forecast. Taking a look though at our watches and warnings, the good news is we don't have any more moisture, so those flood watches, those flood alerts, they're gone. The only thing we have is in northern New Mexico, potentially a freeze warning for those areas in the mountains where we are noticing those temperatures drop overnight. Now, taking a look at our car wash forecast, good news for those of us who have been holding off on washing our cars. We do have the green light set from Friday all the way through Sunday. We're just looking at below average temperatures for a good portion of the next 9 days. We're also looking at very light winds, mostly sunny skies, really not a whole lot going on. Like I said, really those changes begin to come as we head later on into the forecasting period, which of course I will bring to you in just a little bit, but I'll go ahead and send it back to you, Paulina.
Thank you, Tirza. And many farmers say they're running out of time and money as they wait for aid from the Trump administration. The president has promised to help farmers impacted by ongoing trade fights. Our DC's Raquel Martin has the latest.
When it's time to harvest, I have to go then. Time is of the essence.
Virginia soybean farmer John Boyd says farmers need aid now.
While the grass is growing, the cows are starving.
That's the message he wants the White House to hear loud and clear. Tens of thousands of farmers are grappling with profit loss caused by the ongoing trade war with China.
And if we don't have the resources, people that's not rocket scientists, we're not going to be able to stay in business.
For weeks now, President Donald Trump has promised to steer billions in tariff revenue to help farmers struggling to stay afloat, but has yet to deliver. Thursday, U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins blamed the government shutdown for the delay.
Because with the shutdown, that aid has been frozen.
The president did, however, just send $20 billion to support Argentina's economy.
We want to help Argentina.
He met with the Argentine president Tuesday.
We see it as a huge slap in the face.
China has turned to Argentina to purchase soybeans during its U.S. boycott. Democrat and Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader John Thune, say the administration must prioritize U.S. farmers.
They need to do everything they can to open up markets.
Rollins says that remains their focus and says she's traveling the globe to find U.S. farmers new customers.
This is a long game, and there are countries all over the world. We're actually in discussions with some South American countries.
In the meantime, the American Soybean Association is holding out for a truce with China to remove China's 20% tariff on U.S. soybeans. President Trump is set to meet with President Xi in South Korea later this month. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
And amid the shutdown, a federal judge is blocking the Trump administration's plan to lay off thousands of government workers. The temporary restraining order takes effect immediately and will be in place for 2 weeks. 2 federal employee unions sued the administration last month ahead of reductions in force at federal agencies. The judge says she will hold another hearing to consider issuing a longer-term injunction. She went on to say the administration is taking advantage of the shutdown and assumes the laws do not apply to them anymore. And now to our border report. Texas Senator John Cornyn wants the U.S. to train Mexican soldiers to fight cartels. Senator Cornyn is celebrating the inclusion of provisions in the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act of a bill he co-authored. The bill would create a pilot program so Mexican military forces can receive tactical training on U.S. military bases. The use of force and analytical training can be used not just against drug traffickers, but also against human smugglers, gun runners, and large-scale fuel thieves. And with Halloween fast approaching, Dunkin' is getting into the Halloween spirit. Coming up, we will tell you what products Dunkin' is offering just in time for the spooky holiday. Then, a mother was allegedly shot at least 11 times by her own son. We go over the details and share your thoughts in today's In the Comments segment. Thanks for watching KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
The KTSM 9+ streaming app is finally here, and it is absolutely free. And downloading it is super simple. On your Roku remote, hit the home button. Head to the streaming store, search for KTSM 9+, and click download. Once installed, you'll have instant access to live newscasts, weather updates, and exclusive local digital content from KTSM 9.
Montana today.
Welcome back, and check this out. Dunkin' is getting into the Halloween spirit with the new menu and merchandise lineup. The coffee chain launched its new candy bar signature latte, blending chocolate, toffee, pretzels, and peanut butter with espresso. Also returning to stores nationwide are some festive fan favorites, the Spider Donut and the Halloween Munchkin Bucket, as well as a limited edition collection of Spider Donut themed merch available at select stores and on their website. Tirza, we were talking about that little spider.
We were.
If you guys are not following Dunkin' on social media, you guys are missing out because that little spider is a menace.
You need to. Potentially can't even reverbalize what that little spider will post on the web for the broadcast. I don't know if we'll get in trouble for it, but just our recommendation, go follow them. I can't believe it's from the official Dunkin' account.
Yes. Maybe we can get some merch.
Maybe, you know what, I wouldn't mind some little spider merch for that. I will support it. Those treats, though, do look like they would give me a stomach ache.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
You know, it's the season for tummy aches. I guess it is that time. We are getting closer to October, the end of October, I should say, around Halloween, which is when, you know, everyone goes trick-or-treating. All these fun fall festive things start to pop up. But it's not really feeling like that for today. We are still looking at temperatures a little bit above average currently out the door. Looks like we are going to hit a high around those lower 80s, mid 80s temperatures, potentially even hitting 85 degrees for today. And we're very dry. We completely dried out. We saw that tropical moisture hanging around just for a couple of days longer. But now it looks like we are left with just those remnants of the winds. We're currently looking at 24-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in El Paso, 16 over in Las Cruces, Alamogordo at 25, with TRC currently clocking the highest wind gusts at 31 miles per hour. And this is a trend we will be looking at as we continue to move throughout the weekend, but it shouldn't be too bad. Overall, very beautiful conditions. We're still hanging around 84 degrees in El Paso, 15-mile-per-hour winds, humidity down to 27%, and it will continue to just drop as we continue to move throughout the rest of our evening. 76 degrees over in Las Cruces, light winds moving at 11 miles per hour, and humidity is around that same range. Now for our lows for tonight, we are going to be going down to those low 60s in El Paso and over in Juarez, 53 for Las Cruces, 54 over in Alamogordo. TRC matches that number with Deming at 49 and Silver City at 44 degrees. Overall, the Borderland is looking at predominantly clear skies as we head into our Friday. For tomorrow, we will be hanging out in these upper 70s, lower 80s range. Plenty of sunshine, very similar to what we had today, only slightly cooler, very light winds moving at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and it will be seasonably warm. We are slightly below average for tomorrow's forecasted high, very similar over in Las Cruces. Plenty of sunshine, 77 degrees will be that high with light winds as we head into the weekend. Really a great day for some Friday night football. Now for our highs across the rest of the region, 77 over in TRC, 76 over in Deming, Silver City at 66 degrees. Ruidoso matches that number with Cloudcroft 10 degrees less at 56 degrees. Our allergens, because we are going to be drying out, they will be ticking up a little bit higher, 7 for your Saturday and your Sunday. So if you need to take some Claritin or anything before you head out to a pumpkin patch, I would definitely recommend that. Now for the rest of our 9 hours, really not a whole lot to talk about. Go ahead and take a look. We're just dropping down in temperatures and we're looking at clear skies across the board. By the time we get to midnight, we're down to 68 degrees before we hit 66 for our 2 a.m. hour. Now for the rest of our 9 days, pretty quiet weather conditions. Like I said, really the major headline is going to be those light winds, and I would dare to even call that a headline. It will be just very breezy conditions, variable winds coming in to our region. We're looking to be around 78 degrees for your Saturday. Come Sunday, 80 degrees. We do jump a little bit above average for our Monday to begin the work week, but then we go right back down to where we need to be for this time of October. Paulina?
Thank you, Tirza. And taking a look at AAA's weekly gas prices, prices at the pump seem to be steadily dropping. According to AAA, the statewide average for a gallon of regular gas sits at $2.64. That's about 6 cents cheaper than this time last week. However, as we're used to by now, gas prices in the Sun City are much higher. We're paying $2.77 on average for a gallon of regular gas. But it's not all bad news. We're still paying about 10 cents less than we were last week. And in today's In the Comments segment, a mother was allegedly shot at least 11 times by her own son in Santa Teresa. Police identified the man as 20-year-old Kevin Marin. He is charged with aggravated battery against a household member using a deadly weapon and attempted murder. As we previously reported, a local hospital notified law enforcement of a patient with gunshot wounds, possibly linked to an incident in Sunland Park. Police say they responded to a home in Santa Teresa on Ashwood Drive. Officers found at least 3 semi-automatic rifle casings in Marin's bedroom. They also found blood droplets underneath a Jeep Wrangler in the driveway of the home. The woman remains in critical condition. Now, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts you wanted to share with us. We start with Thomas Martson, who wrote, "Hope she makes it and finds peace. A lot of kids these days have no tolerance and lot of tempers. It's dangerous that so many of them are coming out that way." Meanwhile, Grace Martinez says, "Not all mothers are good. Something happened in his life to have so much anger. Everybody assumes she is the victim. There are 2 sides to every story." And Sylvia Dominguez writes, "Everybody will make their own decisions in life. Doesn't matter what your parents are. You can have wonderful parents and be like this young man, or have worthless parents and be wonderful kids. Everybody makes their own decisions." Now, according to jail records obtained by KTSM, Marin is also facing other charges in another pending case that occurred in January of last year. He's in jail this afternoon with no bond. To read the full story, head on over to KTSM.com. And as always, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Now, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is KTSM 9+.
Expert tips from your student doc. Sponsored by Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine. Tips for strong and healthy bones.
Hey everybody, I'm Sidney Alvarez here with 4 tips for strong and healthy bones with student Dr. Krisha Gupta of Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine.
Thanks, Sid. Tip number 1, include calcium in your diet. Adults need about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium daily. Great sources include dairy, leafy greens, sardines, tuna, and soy products like tofu. Tip number 2, get enough vitamin D. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium. You can get it from salmon, tuna, fortified milk, cereal, orange juice, and don't forget a little sunshine each day. Tip number 3, stay active. Weight-bearing exercises like walking, jogging, dancing, tennis, or pickleball help build bone strength and slow bone loss. And finally, tip number 4, Sid, ask about medicines. Check in with your doctor about medications you take long-term. Some can affect bone health, so your physician may suggest ways to protect your bones.
I do like pickleball. Thank you so much for that information. You can go to burrell.edu for more.
Expert tip.
I'm Robert Bettis. Putting local first.
Welcome back, Borderland. We are getting a final look at your exclusive 9-day forecast. Expect very quiet weather and calm conditions as we move into the weekend. We are looking at below average temperatures for your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, coupled with some very light winds. It will overall be very pleasant fall-like conditions. We do rise up just a little bit for our Monday. We're inching near the mid-80s range, and then once we get through that, we clear out and we go back below or near average temperatures, looking at very calm conditions, potentially showers for our Wednesday and Thursday, but those chances are quite low. Paulina?
Thanks, Tirsa, and thank you for choosing KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Paulina Spencer. 9 News Out with Estela Casas is up next.